There are big mistakes made by both parents and students before applying to college. Here to help us avoid them is Paul Hempel. He's the college planning expert and he's the author of How to Win the College Game. Paul, the biggest mistake, number one that you found, what is it that parents make?
Well, parents and students are both making the mistake of, well, let's put it this way. As the great philosopher of children, Mr. Rogers once said, can you say procrastination?
So procrastination is number one.
Oh, absolutely. And the problem is that parents legitimately don't understand the issue. College is very complicated, and as human beings, we're going to put off as long as possible anything that's complicated, anything that we don't understand. And the closer we get to the point where we need to start doing something, the stress levels start to rise. And as we all know, the higher the stress levels are, the more likely we are to make mistakes as to what choices we're going to be making about college. So the real core of the problem is, where do you start?
And people often think we should start with the guidance counselor, but there's kind of a fundamental lack there. Tell us about that lack and the issue that's going on with guidance counselors.
Well, the real problem there, and it's the scandal that's off everybody's radar screen right now, and that is the graduate schools are issuing these master's degrees in counseling that offer no courses at all in college planning. So when your guidance counselor is hired by the local high school, they have to have a master's degree in counseling, but it's mental health counseling. What in the name of goodness does mental health have to do with how to pick a college to go to or how to finance a college education? So these guidance counselors show up at these high schools not knowing anything about colleges, and so as a result, your plumber is as qualified to talk to your student about college as the guidance counselor is. Now, using the old 80-20 rule, or 80% of the value of anything is in 20% of the thing, you got to know that 80% of the guidance counselors out there really don't know what they're doing.
Which is unfortunate but true, and that's why people need to kind of farm out and get more information from other places.
Right.
Now, what about money? What's the big mistake that people make
The
with
big
money?
mistake about money is that parents, and it astounds me how often I'll meet with a parent who tells me they really don't have any money set aside for college, and that they're thinking about going into their retirement account. And I'm ready to pull my hair out when they say that, because I tell them that, by the way, your retirement is a lot more important than your child's education. Now, you are in the last half of your life where you don't want to be taking out loans, but your child is in the first half of their lives, and they can take a lot longer time to pay off any loans that they're going to
Get some good old
out.
American debt.
Absolutely.
Now, what about when choosing a college? What's the mistake they make there?
Well, choosing a college, this is interesting. This is the part where I feel like a Duck Dynasty guy in a Miley Cyrus world. When the parents.
I don't understand that. That's amazing. Yeah. I'm going to start using that. I too feel like a Duck Dynasty guy sometimes.
Exactly.
In a Miley Cyrus world.
So what happens is that the parents are thinking that the colleges are really appealing to my son and daughter intellectually. Well, they're not. Here's what the colleges have decided that they're going to do to appeal to your son or daughter to make them come to their school. They're going to tell your daughter how much fun they can have if they come to our school. For example, Ohio State University spends $140 million on a sports complex so that your son can kayak indoors. Or Boston University issues a press release that says, we are proud to announce the addition of a $1 million wave machine to our Olympic pool. Wow, that's a reason to go to Boston University.
But it's a water park.
Yeah, exactly.
How nice is that?
Or the worst offender, I think, is High Point University, where you can walk around the campus any time of the day, and there'll be an ice cream truck driving around, and that you can weigh them like you do a local taxi cab. I'll have a cone, please.
See, that's where I need to start going to college, in some place like that. But what you're saying is, that says nothing about their sociology program, their business program,
exactly.
their succession rates when it comes to placing kids in jobs.
Right. It's all about marketing with the colleges. The colleges are a business. They're no longer institutions of higher learning. They're businesses, and they're there for the single purpose to separate you from your money.
That may very well be true. Now, I think, unfortunately...
What do you mean very well?
Now, unfortunately, we're running out of time, but I think if we can hit on anything today, it's just that. It's that the guidance counselors, they help kids through very treacherous times, and that's what they have gone to school for. But as you were saying, they haven't gone to school for guiding people to their correct colleges.
That is correct. And the tragedy is, according to Bill Gates and his wife and their foundation, which they issued a study a couple of years ago, on guidance counselors, and part of the study revealed that more than 65% of people who were polled about their guidance counselors in help at high school said they were very poor or inefficient. In other words, they were incompetent. And the other revelation of the study indicated that a guidance counselor will spend not more than 38 minutes a year talking to a student about college. You can't depend upon a guidance counselor for help. You won't get any help for all intents and purposes. So it's really important that you seek out those private sources, people like myself, who will guide people through that maze of information so that you can make the right decisions.
Paul, as always, great tips. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you for having me.
Come back more often. And